Finding a great co-op horror game isn't hard anymore. Finding one your entire friend group hasn't already played, that's the real challenge. While everyone keeps jumping back into the same handful of horror games, there's a wave of brand new co-op titles that are doing some genuinely creative things. One lets you keep playing even after you die. Another turns a routine gas station shift into a deadly game of detective. There's even one where saying the wrong word into your microphone can get everyone killed. So if you're looking for your next horror game night, here are 10 new horror co-op games you need to play with friends. 1. Data Breach. In Data Breach, you and up to 3 friends are disposable corporate robots sent into abandoned facilities to recover valuable data before the last train leaves. Miss your quota, miss the train, and your entire crew gets recycled. It already sounds stressful enough, but here's the twist. When you die, you're not out of the game. Instead, you take control of the facility's security system, where you can monitor cameras, unlock doors, trigger security features, and decide whether you want to help your surviving teammates or make their lives a whole lot harder. It's a clever mechanic that keeps everyone involved, even after they're eliminated, and adds another layer of chaos to every run. The facilities are filled with strange entities, each behaving differently. Some will hunt you down, others might actually help, and a few exist purely to mislead you. You'll also be photographing these creatures to build a permanent codex, slowly learning their behaviors and weaknesses over multiple runs. Outside each mission, you'll spend your earnings on new gear and upgrades, customize your robot, and decide whether to play it safe or gamble the team's entire paycheck. If you're looking for a co-op horror game that mixes extraction gameplay, progression, and just enough friendly sabotage to keep everyone on edge, Data Breach is definitely one to watch. 2. Shift at Midnight. You and up to 2 other players run a lonely gas station during the night shift. Restock shelves, clean the store, take deliveries, and serve customers. But before letting anyone leave, you'll have to figure out whether they're actually human. Check IDs, cross-reference information, watch their behavior. If you accidentally let a doppelganger escape, your quiet work shift suddenly becomes a desperate fight for survival. You'll be boarding up windows, placing traps, hiding from horrific creatures, and hoping you survive until morning. With randomly generated shifts, every night should keep your team guessing. 3. Happy's Humble Burger Cult. The original Happy's Humble Burger Farm already proved that running a burger restaurant could be terrifying. Now imagine trying to do it with your friends. At first, it's exactly what you'd expect. Cook burgers, fry food, serve customers, and hit your nightly quota. Then everything falls apart. Asset joy escapes, and suddenly you're no longer worried about making the perfect burger. You're just trying to make it out alive. One of the coolest features is how the game actually reacts to your microphone. Say certain words and you'll attract unwanted attention. Learn special incantations though, and you can manipulate the kitchen itself. Add in dozens of gameplay modifiers that change every shift, and no 2 runs should ever play out the same way. 4. Separated. Most co-op games reward communication. Separated makes communication the most dangerous thing you can do. You and a friend wake up trapped inside 2 connected houses, each seeing only half of the solution to every puzzle. The only way forward is to constantly describe what you're seeing to your partner over voice chat. There's just one problem. Something is listening. The creature stalking both houses can't see you, but it can hear every word you say. That creates a really interesting balance where talking helps solve puzzles, but also risks revealing your location. It's a simple concept, but sometimes the simplest horror ideas are the most effective. 5. Huntin Buddies. If Lethal Company met a cursed hunting simulator, you'd probably end up with Huntin Buddies. Every night you receive hunting contracts, track wildlife through a national park, haul enormous animal carcasses back to your truck, and collect your paycheck. Simple enough. Except, the animals aren't exactly normal. You'll encounter deer with both eyes on one side of their face, rabbits that scream, goats that speak Latin. And eventually you'll realize you're no longer the hunter, you're the thing being hunted. It's equal parts creepy and hilarious, which makes it perfect for groups that enjoy horror without taking everything too seriously. 6. Storebound. Getting lost inside a giant department store is already frustrating. Storebound asks one simple question. What if the store never wanted you to leave? This one is built as a 6-episode co-op campaign where you and your friends explore a massive cursed megastore filled with environmental puzzles, hidden clues, and things that absolutely do not belong in a shopping mall. Communication is everything. Sometimes you'll split up and guide each other through different areas using walkie-talkies. But when the lights suddenly go out, talking can get you killed. The store has something roaming its halls, and it seems to know exactly where to look whenever it hears someone speaking. 7. Forest Escape, Last Train. One of the more unique settings on this list is Forest Escape. Your only safe place isn't a house, it's a train. As you travel deeper into a surreal nightmare world, you'll repeatedly leave the train to search abandoned locations for fuel, resources, weapons, and puzzle pieces before racing back to safety. Each area introduces bizarre new threats, from immortal killer clowns to haunted amusement parks and enormous stone creatures capable of stopping your train entirely. I also like that your locomotive gradually becomes something you upgrade and protect, instead of just using as transportation. It gives every expedition outside a real sense of risk. 8. Sketchy's Contract. At first glance, Sketchy's Contract might remind you of Lethal Company. You accept contracts, travel to dangerous planets, collect loot, fight monsters, and hopefully make it home alive. But it goes much further than that. There's persistent character progression, RPG-style upgrades, optional story missions, apartment customization, a burger shop management system, and even a risk versus reward mechanic where staying overnight on planets dramatically increases both the danger and the rewards. If you've been looking for a co-op looter horror game with more long-term progression than most games in the genre, Sketchy's Contract definitely deserves your attention. 9. Okay, Boomer. One of the strangest concepts on this list has to be Okay, Boomer. Instead of haunted houses or abandoned hospitals, you're exploring the darkest corners of the internet. Together with up to 3 friends, you'll dive into a corrupted digital world inspired by analog horror, using old-school technology to remove glitches, protect your sanity, and survive whatever monsters are hiding deep inside the web. And while it's currently in early access, the core concept already feels refreshingly different from the typical haunted house formula. If you're looking for something that leans more into creepy atmosphere than constant jump scares, this is definitely one to keep an eye on. 10. Fears to Fathom, Scratch Creek. And finally, the biggest name on this list. If you've played any of the previous Fears to Fathom episodes, you already know why so many horror fans love this series. The realistic storytelling and slow-building tension have made it one of indie horror's most recognizable franchises. Now, for the first time, the series is going co-op. Scratch Creek follows Tessa and Marcus, a young couple whose road trip takes a terrifying detour through a forgotten small town after their moving plans go horribly wrong. For longtime fans of the series, it's easily one of the most interesting experiments on this list. So, which one are you dragging your friends into first? Personally, Fears to Fathom and Shift at Midnight are at the top of my wish list, but I'd love to hear yours. And if there's an upcoming horror co-op game that deserves a spot in a future video, let everyone know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this list, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more hidden Steam gems, upcoming releases, and gaming recommendations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.